Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I have a really amazing video for y'all. I spent a long time compiling this list. We're going to be going over the best Pokemon card for every single water type starter, and I mean every type, from the Squirtle line all the way to the Quaxly line. So get ready and let's see what the best Pokemon card, in my humble opinion, is for your favorite water starter. To kick things off, we're entering the Kanto region, where we were introduced to the Pokemon universe, all of the amazing starters including Charmander, Bulbasaur, and our favorite water type, Squirtle. This line features Squirtle, Wartortle, and Blastoise, and we're going to be looking at the best card artwork for each of these Pokemon. So let's kick things off with Squirtle. In my opinion, it is one of the best cards I have ever seen for a water starter. It is Squirtle, the Crystal Guardians Reverse. Such a stunning card, number 64 out of 100. This is undoubtedly one of the best sets of Pokemon of all time. EX Crystal Guardians, released in 2006. As you can see, two of the best cards in this set are actually the Alakazam Gold and that Reverse Crystal Guardians Charizard. Two iconic cards, but there are so many gorgeous cards in this set, and this Squirtle is definitely, in my opinion, the best Squirtle of all time. Feel free to argue in the comments down below. I'd love to start up a discussion. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. This is just my opinion. I also have some runners up for some of the Pokemon cards where I just felt like there were so many great choices that any of these could have been the top card. So maybe the runner-ups will actually be your favorite. But yeah, I'm really happy to say that this is my favorite. Such a vibrant card. Squirtle is absolutely adorable, and this has such a Southern Island vibe to a gorgeous reminder of how Squirtle is just the cutest and most nostalgic water starter. These are actually my runners up. We have the 151 Art Rare. Next up, we have the Fire Red Leaf Green Squirtle Reverse, another beautiful one, and I really love how you can see all of the energy patterns as the reverse on this card, and Squirtle just looks so happy and adorable. And actually, one of the newest cards in the latest set to be released, Stellar Crown, it's going to be the Squirtle Art Rare Reverse, a gorgeous one that actually has a line of 3 different cards, the Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charmander. 3 cards that make an amazing set. In case you are a fan of the Kanto starters, that's a really great option for you to collect, not to mention the 151 line as well. Some great art rares just bring out the best of each Pokemon, and some Pokemon that are absolutely obsolete have a chance, in my opinion, to get some card artworks, because actually, as you'll see, some of the Pokemon just didn't get the love that they deserve, and I think art rares are really a way to change the theme up in Pokemon, bring out the beauty of some of these Pokemon and give them the artworks they deserve. Without waffling on, let's get on to Wartortle. This is going to be the base set first edition Shadowless Wartortle. Of course, just a classic, a beautiful artwork. I did not actually include the base set Squirtle, as you might have noticed. I just felt like that looked a little goofy, in my opinion, that particular artwork. It just did not look like a Squirtle at all. I don't know what was going on. It looked like an alien Squirtle, but here we're talking about Wartortle, and what a gorgeous card. I love the depth of the blue, the simplicity of the background, simply on a beach in the ocean, just like Squirtle always is. And we obviously know that this is the iconic set that started off one of the biggest TCG, if not the biggest TCG platform, Pokemon, with the Charizard base set Shadowless first edition that goes for over $250,000 in some cases. We have that Alakazam, some incredible cards in this set, and I cannot wait to show you all the next one, because I think Blastoise is actually going to be one of the coolest cards to take a look at. It has so many artworks, and one thing in particular about this particular Kanto line is they have had amazing artworks throughout the generations. Some of the Pokemon that come out later just did not have the time to come out with better cards. If I ever do a revised version of this video, I will definitely point those out, but for now we definitely have a lot of room to work with, and I still think that the original Wartortle stands the test of time. Here are 3 of my runners up for the Wartortle best art. We have the 151 Art Rare, we have the Crystal Guardians Reverse, and we have the Legendary Collection Reverse Dark Wartortle. This was actually in the Team Rocket set, but as Legendary Collection was actually a compilation of all the sets, or a lot of the sets that came out before it, including Jungle, base set, and even the Rocket set. We have the Rocket war turtle here, and it looks really, really badass. The war turtle just looks so upset. It looks like a mean little grunt, and it's kind of cute to see. But the reverse foil is absolutely outstanding in Legendary Collection. Nothing we have seen since has come close to this reverse. An absolutely unique experience, and if you've ever held one Legendary Collection reverse in your hand, you'll know what I mean. Next up, we have Blastoise, and this might surprise y'all. Why isn't the base set Blastoise not here? Well, I have to say, I like the Dark Blastoise much better. It is absolutely gorgeous. I think, in particular, the holo just shines in such a gorgeous and unique light. If you take a look at this card and you put it beside the base set Blastoise, I just feel like the base set Blastoise, it doesn't really accentuate Blastoise. It kind of looks... It's still an iconic card, still a beautiful one. I have one in my collection and I love it. But I personally have a graded copy of the Dark Blastoise just because of how amazing it is. I put the first edition Team Rocket version here, the one from 2000, the iconic set with the dark cards like the Dark Charizard, the Dark Dragonite. And if you'll see the runners up, we actually have some other amazing Blastoise cards. One in particular is going to be this X and Y 122 promo. We have a Gyarados and a Vaporeon in the background. This card actually has a set of 3 other accompanying promos. One is going to be the Charizard, second is going to be Pikachu, and third is going to be Venusaur. Together they form an absolutely insane squad of cards with all of the starter Pokemon in their final evolution, and Pikachu. What a gorgeous card to have in your collection. And next up we have the first edition Blastoise. Again, an iconic one, but I think you can see the difference here between the first one and the Rockets Blastoise. I just think Blastoise looks a little bit better in the dark, but again, I totally understand it if this is your favorite card. But moving on to the third runner-up, and I have to say the runners-up are in no particular order. I just put them in together, whatever you want to view them as, and they're just there for y'all to see. There's no particular order for the runners-up. But the last one is going to be the Blastoise Holo from Expedition. A really, really unique interpretation of Blastoise. One that almost looks like a sea monster, kind of crawling towards you slowly but surely. It almost looks like a shark slowly opening its jaws and just terrifying the life out of you if you saw this scene. And I'm super happy to say that we're finally done with the Kanto region, and we're going to be moving on to Jhoto. We're moving on to an era that was so beloved that it was actually revisited during the Diamond and Pearl era, which is why we have sets such as Heart Gold Soul Silver, and we even had one of the most successful, if not the most successful Pokemon games of all time, the Heart Gold Soul Silver remakes that follow the Johto region. But without further ado, let's get started with the Johto starters. First up, we have Totodile Reverse, and it's going to be from Expedition. This was during the e-reader era, so as you can see, we have those huge yellow borders at the bottom and left, along with the E symbol at the bottom left-hand side. This set features some beautiful cards such as the e-reader Charizard and Mewtwo. Amazing holo foils. You can find swirls on these cards, and they are outstanding to see in person. Sometimes these pictures just don't do them justice, y'all. If you feel them in your hand, you really see the unique and beautiful aesthetic that comes out in the simplest, and sometimes it just shows you old is gold. Next up, we have Croconaw Holo from Unseen Forces EX era, again 2005. We have the Suicune Gold Star and the Espeon EX. Some cards you can pull in this set. Unfortunately, Croconaw did not have that many cards to go through, so I had to choose a reverse, but I think this is actually quite a nice one. It's pretty action-packed. You see Croconaw kind of blazing through the forest. The water is being thrown up from its exit from the river. A very simple artwork because it's pretty much just showing off Croconaw from the front. It's not showing too much of the surrounding, but the blurred background really does work in this case. Next up, this was actually a tough decision. There were a lot of Feraligatr cards, and I just found that this was the best one. The blue is so outstanding. You can see most of Feraligatr's entire body. The holo acts as a sort of glowing mechanism, and the water that sort of trails around its fingers right here looks amazing. It almost looks like it's using a move, or it's just jumped out of the river again and just throwing its hand out in front of it. It's just a great pose for this card. But there are 3 runners up. I put the Temporal Forces pre-release card, which you might not agree with, but I thought this was really gorgeous because of the pastel colors that they used and the way that you can see for Alligator underwater, for one of the few, if not the only card, which features such an angle. We also have the Prime card, the Feraligatr from Heart Gold Soul Silver. And we also have the Neo Genesis First Edition Holo Feraligatr. Next up, we're entering the Hoenn region. I think this is the best era for starters apart from the Kanto region. In fact, if I had to choose the best trio, because I actually really love the Charmander line and the Squirtle line for Kanto, but I don't love the final evolution for Bulbasaur, whereas in the Hoenn region, I absolutely adore every single Pokemon artwork and design from Torchic to Mudkip. They are all fantastic, including Trico. I love them all, and so I'm super excited to take a look at these Pokemon. And so starting off, we have Mudkip from Team Rocket Returns, the EX era. Once again, we're seeing a lot of old cards here, and I just feel like the starters really were accentuated the best in the older days. I do hope that they revisit some of these Pokemon and give them some nice art rares at least, because that is the benefit of the Scarlet and Violet era. There are awesome opportunities to give some of the Pokemon that just didn't receive the love they deserved more of a spotlight. But enough of that. And we're looking at Mudkip Gold Star, one of the few Gold Stars that features a non-final evolution or non-legendary sort of Pokemon. This is a great one. We also have the Torchic Gold Star and the Suicune, Rocket Suicune EX card in the set. A bunch of different reverse, a bunch of EX cards. This is definitely the best card from Mudkip. Gold Stars are considered amongst the best Pokemon cards released ever, and I'm really glad to see that Mudkip actually got itself a Gold Star. But there were also some other beautiful reverses out there from Mudkip in the old days. We have the EX Emerald reverse. We also had ourselves the reverse from the Dragon set. Yes, actually called Dragon set. But that's the one in the middle, and then the one on the right is a Crystal Guardian reverse. You'll actually notice there are a lot of Crystal Guardian cards, y'all, but Crystal Guardian was just a banger set. The reverses were absolutely stunning. Next up, we have Marshtomp reverse from EX Emerald, another amazing reverse from this era. We have cards such as Milotic EX and the reverse Emerald stamped Rayquaza. It's truly incredible how they decided to include different styles of reverses back in the day, and reverses just don't hit the same anymore. You can see how in this case the Emerald has the Pokeballs, whereas when we were looking at that Fire Red Leaf Green, we had all of the energy stamped on. We have the actual set mark at the bottom right of the artwork of the cards. It is truly unique, and it brings out even more flair and depth to even the simplest and guaranteed of pulls. This does accentuate Marshtomp, a very toned down card, but because of the way reverses were done back in the day, this really does say that is the best Marshtomp card out there. Finally, we have Swampert EX from Crystal Guardians. Again, I know, I'm sure some of y'all are sick of hearing it, but it is the best card for Swampert, and it is definitely the only set that I can say that has shown up this much in this video. I don't think anything has proved to have so many amazing artworks, and I've noticed that Crystal Guardians has about all the way up to Hoenn, all the starters pretty much in fantastic form. I really would love to hear in the comments down below which card you personally felt like was the best artwork of all of the ones we're looking at today. And I'd also love to hear what is your favorite water starter in the comments down below. I'd really love to hear it. But yeah, so now moving on to the Sinnoh region, we have ourselves Piplup, and I couldn't really choose between these two. Piplup just, it had two incredible cards in Cosmic, and thank goodness for Cosmic, because Piplup would be criminally undervalued and underused, I think. It was such a popular Pokemon. It always stays as a Piplup with Dawn, and it just didn't get enough cards. But then comes Cosmic Eclipse, and it finally did justice for this Pokemon. We finally see it have a tag team alternate art with Blastoise, and we also have one featuring one of the most iconic trainers in Pokemon, Dawn, with her Pokétch, which is kind of funny to see. There was actually an entire episode dedicated to that product, I remember back in the day. And yeah, if y'all could help me in the comments, I want to know, what do you think is the best Piplup card? I certainly can't decide. We have Prinplup, and this Pokemon, this is what I was talking about. Some Pokemon did not get the love they deserved, and Prinplup is no exception. I mean, it is actually so sad to see that the best card for Prinplup was a reverse from Brilliant Stars. Y'all, I searched and searched. I could not find something better. Please let me know if you know of a better Prinplup card. But yeah, beautiful set though. Brilliant Stars has the Charizard alternate art, some insane trainer galleries such as the Umbreon VMAX, the Sylveon VMAX, the Mimikyus, everything in it is such a banger. And yeah, Prinplup's just sitting here with the reverse. I can't say much about that. That's a sad sight to see. We finally have Empoleon, the final evolution, a Pokemon I played through during the Platinum era. My Platinum game was literally just Staraptor to fly around and Empoleon to blaze through every single gym. I know that's kind of a weird way to play, but yeah, I just over leveled and did it, and it was so fun. Platinum was definitely, I think it's about like a top 3 game in Pokemon at all time. Played on my DSi XL back in the day, going on road trips. It would just be in my hand, and I'd be leveling up Empoleon. And it's really funny, I did not figure out that there was an expansion until very, very late on. I thought my model was just missing it or something, because I could not figure out how to actually continue. But yeah, found out one day and blew my mind. I was really, really excited to see that Battle Styles did it such justice with the phalanx on its hand, sort of doing this martial arts with the Mienfoo in the background on this waterscape. And Phalanx, personally, it was a really cute Pokemon to see. I think there's actually, I saw a little clip somewhere back when Journeys was happening with Pikachu kind of standing in front and then the Phalanx. I'm not really sure what was going on there, but it was a funny scene. And yeah, super cute. And I really liked something unique about this card is, unlike most altars, you can actually see the Phalanx coming out of the silver border, which is really cool. For V altars, that's not a common sight. There were a bunch of old school Empoleon cards though that really, really hit home runs. I'll just rattle off a few of them. One is going to be the Diamond and Pearl level X. Second one's going to be the 111 Secret Rare from Plasma Freeze, the gold border one in the middle. And we're also going to have the Diamond and Pearl promo number 11, the level X. 3 gorgeous cards. If y'all feel like one of these are better, I completely understand. I just felt like the altar was just a tad bit better, but all of them are amazing, especially how the middle one is actually, I think, a shiny Empoleon, which is interesting to see. Not a really crazy shiny, we just have a lighter blue in the middle, but you know, shiny is a shiny. We're finally on to the black and white era, and one thing I forgot to mention is I am not going to be including any Hisuian variants or Megas for any of these Pokemon, which is why I'm not going to be considering Hisuian Samura. But without further ado, let's kick it off with Oshawott. Y'all, Oshawott is another Pokemon that did not get enough love. Actually, this whole line did not get too much love, so I'm just going to blaze through pretty quick. But at least the 25th anniversary McDonald's set came out to give it a little bit of profile boost. Every single starter from every single generation up to the Galar region, which is going to be Gen 8, I believe, got themselves starter Pokemon Kalos with the stamp on it, and Oshawott was amongst them. Next up we have Duat, definitely another underwhelming search process, but I think I landed on a really, really nice reverse. This from Legendary Treasures from the Black and White era, the final set to come out. We have cards such as that Holo Charizard and the first gold cards to appear in the TCG, Pokemon TCG, which is going to be the Zekrom and Reshiram golds, as you'll all see. I actually have the Zekrom posted on the picture. I actually have acquired one recently. It was in damaged condition, but just really, really wanted that card. I didn't want to drop $100+ on it, but to get it for around $20 for the collection, it was really cool. And I really like the Duat. There's a little Grimer in the back left. The black shadowing is quite unique. You don't usually see Pokemon cards like this, but it's nice to see that this reverse definitely has taken on a new art style. Finally, we have the Samurott. Again, y'all, I do not understand it. The regular Samurott has like no cards, and it's actually really disheartening. I feel like they were done dirty, but I found this holo. We have a trainer just standing over here. Samurott seems to be in a fight. Pola is Blade, and I think this is a Gyarados if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, pretty cool, common, just sort of reverse rare, whatever it is, rare card. Hopefully you can find it in reverse or holo form. But this is probably the best card out there for Samurai. I really tried to search, but I could not find anything better. This was just a sad generation to go through. Next up, we have Kalos with a lot more to offer. First up, we have Froakie. Still, we are lacking in the first two locations, but at least we have the shiny variants from the Hidden Fates set, which had a lot of beautiful cards in the shiny vault, which is what you refer to when you're talking about all the shiny cards in the set. There is a regular set including cards such as the Jesse James card, but if we're talking about shinies, then it is going to include the shiny vault, such as this Froakie right here, which you can see a very, very slight color variation. It's not very prominent, but it is there. We also had cards like the shiny Charizard full art, and we also had such cards as the Cynthia full art because we have the shiny Lucario in it. And let me know in the comments, is that Garchomp shiny? I remember the Garchomp shiny barely has any difference from the original. I think it's supposed to be shiny, but I can't tell. It's pretty similar to the usual Garchomp. Next up, we have Frogadier. Again, shiny vault. I think the shiny is actually pretty difficult to see for this Pokemon as well, but it is to an extent noticeable. Blues just always make it just a little bit better to see in terms of shinies. I think whenever a Pokemon turns blue, turns black or white, it usually just gives a profile boost. But anyway, we got Frogadier there. But the shiny Greninja is amazing, I do have to say. There is no shiny Greninja in my final Greninja best card section, but there was one Gold Star promo release in the Celebrations ETB, and as you'll see, it's black, and it is amazing. So I don't know why these two were not done the same justice. They could have been black as well. Moving on to Greninja, I think the best card, and I think a lot of you will agree, is going to be the alternate art from Twilight Masquerade. Actually, the first few looks at this card, I did not like it, but I saw it in person quite recently, and I have to say, I was a little bit off on this one. I felt like the card was just not good in pictures, but especially if you see it really zoomed out, and if you see it in person, it looks better. I won't say it's definitely everyone's style because there's just so much going on in it. And then, there's the Terra happening, the fighting type Terra, which includes a huge crown on Greninja's head, which is, again, maybe an annoyance to you, maybe you like it, but there's a lot going on, and maybe you might not like this style, but I definitely have grown on it. This is from Twilight Masquerade, so you also have amazing cards such as Perrin SAR and the Eevee Art Rare. I personally own the other two. I missed out on the Greninja, and it is doing crazy well in the market. I'll put a little screen grab of the price right now. Absolutely insane. The most expensive card in the Scarlet Violet era. But there are also some amazing other cards, such as the Ash Greninja from the X and Y era. It's actually a promo card. We also had the Shrouded Fable promo alternate art from the Greninja SIR collection box that came out quite recently. And we also had finally this tag team pre-alternate art. I guess alternate arts were only introduced in the Sword and Shield era, but these cards from the Sun and Moon era that resemble alt-arts, I just call them alt-arts. But we had the tag team between Greninja and Zoroark, two amazing Pokemon that are honestly worthy of being like pseudo-legendaries, to be honest. They're so powerful in the show, and Zoroark even had a movie dedicated to it, so you would think it's a legendary. But anyway, now we're finally up to the Alola region with the horrible Ash animation that Pokemon will never be forgiven for. Definitely did Ash dirty, going from X and Y, which is considered the best era of Pokemon, at least for the show, and going to Sun and Moon's animation style, the voices, everything about it. I stopped watching by the time Black and White came out, but I had to return just to binge X and Y over a week because I was feeling nostalgic, to be honest, and I heard X and Y was really good. I gave a few episodes and I absolutely adored it, just for the nostalgia and how well they showed off Ash. So I watched that whole series through in about a week. And then so I was like, maybe I should give Sun and Moon a shot, once in a while. After I was done watching all the modern movies and everything, I was like, you know what, I need something to watch. And I saw the first episode, I was like, nope. But anyway, off of my tangent, we have Popplio here, which is a water starter. Again, and not a really overwhelmingly beautiful Pokemon. I don't personally love Popplio, but it's just not my thing personally. I don't love Popplio. I did do my best to stay objective and look at the best Pokemon card for each of these Pokemon. So Poplio definitely did not get enough love. It only got the 25th anniversary promo. Again, as a starter, whether I like it or not, I think it should get a better artwork just because it is such an integral part of people's experience interacting with this universe. Whether it comes to the games, whether it comes to watching the show, or even collecting, starters have a certain flair about them, and having a good artwork definitely goes a long way to raising the profile of collectors. Next up we have Brionne. Again, I don't even know what this is from. It's just a Sun and Moon promo. I don't know where it came from, but this was the best card I could find. It's definitely not a Pokemon to my taste, but it didn't even get that many great cards. This was literally the best one I could find. The Cosmos Hollow is cool because of the promo, and it does have a cool outline. It almost has a sticker aesthetic to it. It looks like they just plastered on a sticker on top of the waves. But yeah, that's basically Brionne. Moving on, we have Primarina, and Primarina is actually quite nice. I do enjoy the GX artwork, even though Primarina is not my thing. I definitely like, not even Decidueye, but Incineroar's alright. I think Torracat's definitely the best in the starter line for Alola. But Primarina is actually a gorgeous artwork, and GXs are just beautiful. They almost borderline are full art. But if you can see on this card particularly, the water is so photorealistic. It is unique to say the least. And regular GXs are so underrated that I just think, y'all, if you like a certain Pokemon and it is in GX form, regular GX form, just grab it. It has a lot of photorealism to it that a lot of other Pokemon cards just don't have, because Pokemon doesn't go for photorealism. They go for the animation style that they literally use. But the Primarina, as you can see, it almost has this 3D effect, as if it's in the real world, as if the water is really crashing down from the beach. It's from Sun and Moon base, actually, this particular card, and we have top cards such as Umbreon, GX Full Art Rainbow, and we also had Full Art Lily. Moving on to the Galar region, we actually have a pretty good Sobble card, and I'm happy to say that it is a Futsal promo. The Sobble on the ball. We had other cards like the Eevee on the ball, Pichu on the ball, and the other two starters from the Galar region. It is a promo from the Sword and Shield era, which completely just ignore that little thing, the 2009 thing. I don't know what that is. But yeah, so just ignore that. The Sobble on the ball came out during Pokemon Journeys era, actually just 2 years ago, so it's quite recent. I don't know when this card came out exactly, but it is amongst some of the most collectible cards in my opinion, because of the way that there are 5, and I think collecting series of cards is one of the best ways to go about collecting. And if you love the ball aesthetic of these cards, just grab all of them and have them in your collection. Seeing them together gives you another level of joy. Next up we have Drizzle. It's going to be a shiny Pokemon from Shiny Phase, Shiny Vault card again. This set had cards like the Shiny VMAX Charizard and the Skyla Full Art. I'm not gonna dwell too much on this. Let's move on to the final evolution, which is gonna be Inteleon VMAX. A gorgeous artwork. This is going to be the VMAX card on this list because obviously it was exclusive to the Sword and Shield era. It was from Fusion Strike in this particular case, with such cards like the Gengar VMAX and Espeon VMAX. Gorgeous card, and Inteleon definitely got a lot of love. It's actually quite an affordable card too if y'all want to pick it up. It was in my top underrated alternate art cards video, and alternate market just continues to crash, so if you want to grab any alternate arts, this is about the time to do it. To the final latest era, we have the Paldea region, which is going to start off with the Quaxly art rare from Paldea Evolve. 6 art rares, including all 3 starters and their entire lines. The final evolutions having special illustration rares or special art rares, whichever one you want to use. It also had cards such as the Magikarp art rare, one of the best cards in the entire Sword and Shield era, and the most expensive art rare in the era too. And we also had the Iono SAR, which has dropped significantly to about $65. It was up in the $100 range for the longest time. And yeah, so I have to say the Quaxly art rare, again, we don't have too many artworks for this line because, you know, the era just came out. We're not even through the Scarlet and Violet era. But these are the best cards. So we have Quaxly, we have Quaxwell, which I can't even believe they did this for a Pokemon art. I mean, the middle artworks are usually not the greatest for Pokemon. It's usually the start baby ones and then the final evolutions that have the true flair, the true beauty, or the cuteness. They're usually the best. The middles are not great, but not terrible, but this is just one of the worst Pokemon I have ever seen. And then we have Quackable. I understand they were trying to go for like a fighting duck aesthetic, and I really do not mind Quackable, it gets too much hate in my opinion. It's not that bad, the artwork. The previous one was. I totally understand. But yeah, this is a pretty nice one. In the game, it's really annoying to see how it jumps around, but in particular, if you're just looking at design point, it's unique. They tried something new. I'll always give it to, if a company is really trying to be unique, giving artworks a different style, I'll be on board with it. Even if it's not my style, I'll give them credit where credit is due for creativity. We haven't seen a Pokemon quite exactly like this, so it is fine. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Let me know again in the comment down below what your favorite card was, and I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, I'll definitely work towards making a fire type or grass type starters video. This video took a while to compile the list of cards to edit. I'm sure it's going to take forever, y'all. Me from the future is going to be sitting many hours sitting there editing, and I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.